What's down, people of all ages across the world? Is the one-man army, the one and only Swarm General of Swarm Universe. And today, I'm going to talk about the different roles that narcissistic families plague on their children, so to keep them at a low vibration. It's all an agenda at the end of the day. It's an agenda to keep them low because they're fearful of what their children gonna become when their children become one with they self. So it's all an agenda at the end of the day. It's all psychology. And when you go by life, you will learn the narcissistic tactics that they play to keep you comfortable and settling for less, when you know nobody can tell you how you gonna turn out. You just gotta live life, be careful of your surroundings, be watchful, be aware, and you're gonna learn. So I'm gonna talk about the different roles. So the first role is the golden child. So that's the child that get treated with everything that the material world, the 3D world, all the materials, money, accolades, accomplishments, everything, they get treated with royalty. So everything is in their favor because with that role, the child will learn not to rebel against their family because they're dependable on them. And that's what keep that child dependable on their family. So the first role. Second role is the invisible child. The invisible child is the one that really don't get no attention. Their mind really don't matter. Like, they get treated with the same things that the golden child get, but when it comes to their mental and their brain, it really doesn't matter because they're invisible. They can't speak up for themselves. They don't matter in that family eyes. They get spoiled and everything, but it's like, here you get that and then shut up. It don't matter what you say, nothing. So that's the second role, the invisible child. The last role, and I'm just doing it in 3, but in big families with a family with a lot of kids and siblings, it varies, but it's still all a part of the agenda. But the last role is the scapegoat. The scapegoat is the one that's rebelling, that know the family tactics, but that's them being older. But them being young, they don't know. The family know what they capable of before the scapegoat realize what they're capable of. The family is threatened by that child. That child is the one that's gonna blossom. That's the one that's gonna learn everything with their life to become way better than what they learned. That's the child that's gonna go through the most mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, every aspect of abuse that the family could empower on that role. And that's the one really the family need the most, because when that one not around, they don't have nobody to blame for the problem they cause on themselves individually. So it's all about Self-awareness, I wrote down, really, I'm going to talk about the scapegoat this video because that's the role I played. And I realize now, like, it just was the agenda in psychology because my family always been threatened about how my mindset was that I didn't take no shit from nobody. I always stand 10 toes down, I always stand on my own 2 feet because I'm independent. Like, I don't depend on nobody but myself. And the things that I do get in life, material, if I don't ask for it or if I do ask for it, I get it off of the genuineness I come about getting it instead of being narcissistic or manipulating them to get what I need to get out of them. That don't even matter because you will learn how to become your true self, if that makes sense. So I even wrote about being a scapegoat. So let me break it down to y'all. All right. Being a scapegoat of your family, the sacrificial lamb, is the member of a narcissistic family that have the toughest journey in the whole family. The scapegoat who bore our sins by taking them away, free us from the guilt of our sins. The scapegoat is the one everyone in the family that have a jealous soul for view the scapegoat as a big threat. The scapegoat is the strongest in the tribe, and the family recognize your strength due to how you carry yourself every day. The role is part of the narcissistic family agenda to build the scapegoat character and traits by excessively physically, mentally, emotional abuse in every form possible. The narcissistic family ultimate plan is to get the scapegoat to ultimately distance themselves and get away from the family. The family also needs the scapegoat to be present around to have the goat still take the blame for negative motives, sins, events, and wrongdoings in their life to protect their guilt. The scapegoat will have the most self-accountability because that is a trait the goat will learn the most due to the family trying their best to ultimately crush the scapegoat dignity, individuality, mental health, confidence, and keep the goat beneath them because of their low self-esteem. The scapegoat is the ammo of the narcissistic family, the fuel, the supply to keep the family and their individual problems to their self so they could feel better for their guilt. This is psychology for the narcissism. They're mad, you have your own authenticity, uniqueness, and won't ultimately surrender to them being their puppet. The narcissistic family played the victim role as an agenda, and the scapegoat in reality is ultimately the victim. It's ultimately a spiritual battle between sheep and goats. That's all I wrote. So yeah, to nip it in the bud, the scapegoat is gonna be the one that truly flourish in life because he learned all the negative traits of the agenda when it comes to the narcissism that the family played their whole life. Like, the family think that the scapegoat not gonna catch on. But when the scapegoat is gonna just become spiritual, like without even trying, like spiritual awakening, the spiritual warfare, all the battles that he fought or she fought, they're gonna see them eventually. And then it's gonna be like you can't even talk to your family like you was in the past, because you're gonna see what they need you and what they using you for. So ultimately when their motives crash, they're gonna blame you. They're gonna blame you just to keep their guilt. And that's all with having a guilty conscience. So yeah, everyone played this role in their family. Everyone played a different role at the end of the day. Whether it was a family of kids, they all played a role. And you will realize once you get older that how you was raised in your household is gonna affect you being an adult. And it's not just gonna affect you and your family, it's gonna affect you, your friends, it's gonna affect your business relationships, your partnerships, just you interacting with people normally. You're not gonna realize it, but people will view you as a black sheep. And you don't even know if your family's spreading, you know, the negativity about your name or your character to other people. And other people will. I know it's some days you probably just wonder, you know, you at the store, whatever, or you just out and about in the world and like you being jolly-go-lucky, you know, and somebody just look at you like, you know, like you a threat, you a problem. That's what they see in your aura. You carry that. You carry that. But once you're self-aware, you will realize you gotta keep your poker face on to go about in life, because you learned what you learned with how you was raised at the end of the day. So yeah, you will realize in the end that, man, I've been getting blamed for all of these problems when they brought the problems on their self. Nobody can think for you. You only could think for you. And when it comes to feelings, you the only one that's gonna feel it. If it's a demon doing torture to you, they not gonna feel what you feel. They the one that's masterminding it. So they gonna know how you feel if you give them the ammo. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the scapegoat is the ammo. You can't crack your character. They will try. It's a spiritual warfare out you. They will try to break you so many ways. Just chip, 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 poke, poke, poke the bear. Do all they gotta do to break your spirit. But it's all about learning yourself. It's all about learning your actions. It's all about connecting to your higher self. And you know, once you start changing and start changing your surroundings and not being around people, they gonna view that as a threat. They gonna say you changing on them. They gonna say you doing this, that, and the third. They gonna think so much negative of you. But it's still a part of the agenda. So at the end of the day, you cannot change how they feel about you. You could just continue to move about your life and rise to things you never gonna think that you're gonna amount to be. So yeah, that's the roles in the narcissistic family agenda ultimately. And to define narcissism in the lamest terms, it's really tactics that's whoever the mastermind will play to keep you at a distance with everything that you just God-given got. Skills, traits, beliefs, mindset, everything. And it's to keep them beneath you, or you keep you beneath them, so you don't amount up to be nothing. So they could say at the end of the road, or your life or whatever, they could say, yeah, I knew he wasn't gonna be, or I knew she wasn't gonna amount up to shit, because they did that to you. So ultimately, you the victim if you're not aware. So it's the end of the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It's Swarm General, Swarm Universe. Stay tuned to the next episode. I'm out.